Hey y'all, what's up? It's Vanity. So tomorrow I have a photo shoot, and as you all know, I've been doing these Crown Royal jackets, and I've done some Hennessy jackets. So I was thinking, since I'm doing a photo shoot with them tomorrow, I might as well make some matching beanies to go with them. So what I'm doing right now is basically just getting everything prepped together so I can do some embroidery on some beanies. I have my jackets out here right now. What I'm doing is basically just matching up my threads. So let me see if I can flip this camera around. So this is the Hennessy jacket. I have like a couple of threads over here that I thought might be close to the colors. So I think the color I'm probably gonna go with is going to be, I think I'm gonna go with this one right here. I like this one closer to it. So I'm gonna put a make a beanie, and it's probably gonna be black in this color. And then for the Crown Royal jacket, I really don't have to do much matching just because I've already been using this purple and I've already been using this yellow. So they'll go pretty good when I put them in the put them on the beanie. These are the beanies I have. They have a felt lining. I don't know if you can see that. Hold on, let me get some better lighting. So these have a felt lining, super freaking warm and comfy. And then I also have these here that have a fur line, like a little fuzzy sweater type of inside. So I'm going to do one of each so I can have these, and these will be going up for people to purchase. VHOS hats. In addition to the hats that I'm going to be doing for myself, I'm also going to be making some hats for a couple of other people. I have two photographers that I'm going to be making some hats, and I'll be doing some editing so I can show you what I do when I'm editing. And I'm also going to be printing off another, or embroidering off another ASAP smoke shop hat for one of my friends who works up there. So let me pull out my software and my laptop, and I'm gonna get everything set up, get the camera faced at it so you can kind of see what I do through the editing process. I'm not that good, but I do use Inkstitch with Inkscape, and with those two programs, I'm able to pretty much do what I need to do. I may upgrade to a better software at some time, and if anybody wants to donate to that cause, please, by all means, my Cash App is listed on all my social media platforms. So yeah, check me out. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take one of my photographer's logos, and I will be editing it using Inkstitch and Inkscape as the editing software to get it PES ready to be read by my Embroidery Brothers 655 machine. So I'll show you all the steps that go with it. So basically he just emailed me his logo. So what I'm going to do is screenshot this logo, download it, and then it's right there. Alright, cool. Okay, so here's the site that I normally use. It's just Convert Image. You can go to like any, just type in black, white converter, and just go anywhere like that. So I'm going to select my image. It's that screenshot I pulled from my email. And all right, so I have the picture. It's in black and white. I'm going to download it from that site. Go to my downloads. All right, and then what I'm going to do is just basically drag this directly into my Inkstitch. I got a new document open for it right here. So I'm going to grab this, drag it down, and drop it. Alright, so once you drop it, this pops up. You can keep it on none as the auto selection. I usually just click the smooth because it says optimized quality. I honestly don't know if it does make it any better. I just do it because it says it's optimized quality and we want high quality, right? So anyways, once you do that, just say okay, and your image pops up. And so what we're going to do is go over here to path. We're going to go to trace bitmap. And then here, you're basically going to make a copy of it. So if you hit update, it'll give you like a little like outline of it. But as you can see, there's like pieces of it that isn't completely filled out. That's right here. So what I'm going to do is increase the brightness of it. So let's put it up. It was at like 450. We're going to jump it up to 6. Update it. It's got a little bit more, but still not where I want it to. So I might try like 650. And you can just play around with these numbers. Once I get it to where I want to, I just hit OK. And then what you see here, it kind of like layers it underneath. So you need to get the original copy and move it out the way. And you'll see there's the one you snatched off the internet. And there's the one that Bitmap traced for you. So you don't really need this one anymore. You can go ahead and delete it because this is what we're going to be working with. So let me zoom in a little bit. All right, so this is the image I'm going to be working with. It's not a perfect snatched image from what the original image was. As you can see, there's like a little bit of like lumpage there. These aren't as smooth and clear as they could be if you look at the original image. Here you can see it's just a little bit more nicer. So what I'm going to be doing is playing around with the nodes and just moving things around to get it to where I feel like it is a more... Yeah, so that last video cut off on me, but basically I'm just going to be moving things around to get it to where it's more of a perfect image. Like as you can see right here, that's not a perfect circle. So I'm not going to bore you with all these little details, but what I basically do is I'll break apart the image, I'll turn it into nodes, and then when you click on it, you can see all the little nodes that you can play and move around with. It's pretty meticulous and tedious, so I won't make you guys watch all this, but I will show you what it looks like, my finished image, and then we'll pick up from there, okay? I went ahead and edited, which includes like taking all the little nodes, like all those little square things that I was pointing at, and sometimes you have to like merge them together. You have to make sure that they're not overlapping, and then you take like the little angles and you can smooth out areas. So let me show you what it looks like now. I went ahead and filled in the rest of this because if you looked at it before, it was just like a little part. So I fixed that part. I went ahead and made the yo a little bit more defined, the S a little bit more defined. If you look on here though, you can see that this E did not come with a space in between. So what I'm going to do is break it apart, and I'm going to steal that hole from that E, and I'm going to put it over here. So what I'm going to do is select the whole image, and I'm going to go to path, and we're going to select break apart. You can see how it breaks apart every little object into its own little square, and you can kind of like take things and move them around as you please. So what I'm going to do is select that little, no, I just want that little space of the E. So I have it. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it over here. All right, so now I have that little piece of an E right over there, but all of these are not filled in. So I'm going to go back and select it all. And we're going to go back to path. This time we're going to hit exclusion, and it's going to put them back. All right, so now that I have that, I'm going to take my little piece of the E over here, and I'm going to paint it like another color just so I can see it better. And let's go ahead and zoom in as well. All right, so now I can just go ahead and place that space right there. I can adjust it in size, put it exactly how I want, but I think that's a great E right there. So let's zoom back out. All right, so we zoomed out, and now we're going to select the entire thing. It's got, if you look really closely, it's got that yellow E, and it's got the entire other image selected. So both of them are selected. You're going to go to path, and once again, you're going to go to exclusion. And then if you look, now that you zoom in, that yellow part is no longer yellow. It's blended into the entire thing, and all this is one image. Now, I don't want to keep this as one image because what I'm going to do is actually break apart all these little spaces so that he can change the colors to any other color he wants. So from what I can see, I think I'm going to put the camera one color, We're looking at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So my machine only does 6 colors. So because there is 6 colors in this wheel, I'm going to assign probably one of the colors of the wheel the same color as the camera. Or what I could do is just have these different. So I could have like this red and this red, that would be one color. This orange and this orange, that would be 2 colors. This one, red and red, that would be 3 colors. This camera could be 4. This could be 5. So there's a bunch of different ways I can play around with it. I'm going to go ahead and color this object up, but the first thing I need to do is break them back apart. So now that this whole thing is the way I exactly want it, we'll go back to path. We're going to break apart. And once again, you see how everything's broken apart. All right, so I'm going to select the items that I do want to color. So what you do is you just pick what you want, and you can hit like shift, or you can just color them in as you please. What you do want to do is once you color them and you have the two that are the same colors, you want to go ahead and put them together. So like for this guy, it's hard to do on one hand. I have them both selected because I want this to be the same color. No matter what goes on, I want this top part of the camera and this bottom part of the camera to be the same color. So I'm going to go to path, and we're going to go to union. So now those two parts are whatever color I color it, it'll be both of them. So I can click any color and those two will be connected. I went ahead and this would be one color, and I went to path and union them. This would be 2 colors. This would be 3 colors. This red would be 4 colors. And what I'm going to do is probably do this as a 5 and then these as a 6 color. Now, I haven't colored the rest of this part, these letters, because as you know, as you can see, these letters have been filled in again. That happens every time you break apart it. So what I'm going to do is select this entire space of lettering. We're going to go back to path, go back to exclusion, and once again, it'll put those letters in. And so I want to change this color as well. So we're going to make this, I don't know, that color. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors. All these colors are interchangeable. What I've done is just created spaces. So if, like, let's say he wanted the everlasting to be in black, and then he wanted the camera to be in gray, this is all things that I could do and switch around. If he wanted to change the colors in here, we could definitely do that. But I've created the spaces for them to be colored on the sewing machine. So that's pretty much it for this part. So now the next part is just getting it ready to be read by the machine. So what I'm going to do is select the entire image, and as you can see, I have my break aparts, and all these should be 6 different spaces for the 6 different colors. Once I get, if you have a bigger machine, if you have the 12 needle embroidery machine, you could have up to 12 colors. So it just depends on what you're working with. So I'm going to go to extensions. We're going to go to ink stitch, and then we're going to go to fill tools. When you go to fill tools, it's going to say break apart filled objects. Here it's going to ask you if you want it simple or complex. This is a complex one, so I'm going to keep it as it is. Hit apply and wait for it to do its thing. And it's done. Once again, you can see that it filled in everything for you. Do not worry about that, because on this break apart, it's a little different. It's still there, you just can't see it. So you're going to select everything one more time again. Now we're going to go to ink stitch, and we're going to give it a few commands. So what I want the machine to know to do is to cut the thread after each object instead of me trimming each thread. So we're going to attach the command. We're going to trim thread after sewing this. Hit apply. And now there's little commands for the sewing machine to stop after each little area and trim its own thread. The next part we're going to do is go back to extensions again. We're going to go to ink stitch, and now we're going to go to params, and this is where it's going to create the image for me. There are things that you can play around with to tweak your image. For the most part, I'm probably going to keep it as is. It takes a little bit of time for it to load, so just give it a second and we'll be right back. Okay, so this is the image. This is basically like a trial error for you to see how it's gonna sew it before you actually save everything or convert it over to embroidery. As I was watching this the first time, I noticed one thing. I did not leave a space for this black to be sewn. So I'm gonna play it one more time so you can kind of see what it looks like. Right here, it should have made a space, and instead it filled it in, and then it went over it. So it's gonna have 2 layers of thread. That is no bueno. That is no bueno. So I'm gonna go back and do some editing, and then we're gonna come back to params, and I'm gonna show you what it should look like the correct way. I'm not gonna bore you with all that editing, but I'll be right back. I'm back. So one of the best things about the software that you should do before you go ahead and save it to your PES file is to watch the preview, watch the simulator before you save it and you put on your embroidery machine, because that way you can find all the little kinks and stuff that are messed up in what you did in the software before you put it on the computer, because the computer doesn't know what to do until you tell it what to do. So let me show you what I did. I basically went back, broke apart the computer, broke apart the camera into 2 sections, copied this little place, put it to the side, and then pasted it back where it needs to be. So if you watch it now, it should be proper. All right, so letters look good, sections look good, created that hole, and then it filled it in. And that's what we wanted. All right, so then after we're done with that, we're just gonna quit. And then over here, we're gonna hit apply and quit. And then we're going to select the entire thing once more. It's going to go to extensions and ink stitch, visualize and export, and then embroider. Make sure it's in PES form, apply, and then if you look at your image, it's gonna convert it to an embroidered image. Give it a second. It's working. All right, there it goes. So as you can see, it has all the little stitch places for it. So then you can just close it, save your file. Just remember when you're saving your file, once again, that you save it as a PES file. Ink Stitch Brother Embroidery Format PES file. Otherwise, your machine will not recognize it. Save, and we are good to go. Now I can go put that on a beanie.